high-tech oils, available from Auto One, Sprint Auto Parts, and all leading independent auto stores.
To some, it's just a hunk of metal. A convenience made to get you from point A to point B. Basic transportation, that's all. So who cares about horsepower, torque, compression ratios, and chrome Kragers? Yeah, we do too. Summit Racing Equipment, the world speed shop. SummitRacing.com.
On today's show, we head to Adelaide International Raceway in South Australia for the ANDRA Championship Grand Final, featuring the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series. And then we head back to Sandown Raceway in Melbourne as our opening round coverage of the 2016 Shannon's Nationals continues. In this edition, we go open wheeler racing with Formula 3 and the Australian Sports Racer Series. This is Speedweek. After 9 challenging and closely fought rounds held around the country, the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series reaches its dramatic conclusion in Adelaide. Today, a number of categories have championship up for grabs, as the best of the bets in sportsman drag racing aim to win only one thing: an ANDRA Gold Christmas tree. It all comes down to this: the ANDRA Championship Grand Final at Adelaide International Raceway. And so it's a cracking day here in Virginia, South Australia for the ANDRA Grand Final, the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series from Adelaide International Raceway. And Rusty Gregory, officials are ready. We're just about ready to get into it.
We are, and it is absolutely spectacular to be at such a venue with such history. And this is the Grand Finals. We've got championships on the line today. It is going to be huge.
Some very busy teams. We're going to tell you more about them very soon as we get set to fire up here at Ayr, South Australia. Lucas Oil's Matt Forbes is going to be one of the busiest drivers at the ANDRA Championship Grand Final. The Ballarat-based competitor will be competing in not one, not two, but 3 sportsman categories. And with a strongly supported crew behind him, he's showing no signs of being under pressure.
We're running 3 cars in top sportsman, super gas and modified with the dragster, but I'm fortunate to have really good support around me. I've got 7 guys here this weekend helping out. We've got a lot of support. We work hard. We're very passionate about what we do, and that makes life easier. It's a whole team effort to do what we do. 3 cars at the finals. It's a big effort. To get through, you've got to have a great team, great prepared car. You've got to drive well, but you've got to have that bit of luck as well. As long as we perform at our best, win, lose or draw, we're happy. The Corvette we've qualified in the number 2 spot. The Drags is in the number 2 spot. The top sportsman car we got down the track really good last night to a great pass. And we've got championship aspirations in both of these cars, so we're down to about the final 3 that today could be crowned champions.
Forbes' attention after this event will now turn to a potential life-changing opportunity in October, when he'll race a Lucas Oil Products Corvette in Super Gas at the Dallas Nationals in Texas. He hopes that a strong performance could lead to a career in the NHRA Sportsman Series.
To get through, you've got to have a great team, great prepared car. You've got to drive well, but you've got to have that bit of luck as well. So we've got some tough rounds coming up, and I'm confident in our ability to do the right thing. We can turn on some more win lights. I think I'll continue with the sportsman program. I love that, and if I get to race in the NHRA each season, I'd be really happy. To move over there and race full time would be a dream. It's certainly something my wife and I have spoken about doing. I would like to think 5 to 10 years. I've got a young family at home, so 3 daughters, 7, 10 and 13. So as I get a bit older and a bit more independent, but at this stage we'll continue to go over each year and try and race it with the world's best.
Shout out to our friends at SafeSite Traffic Solutions. It's super gas time. Good crowd in the house here at Adelaide International Raceway on a nice warm day and an interesting championship situation that faces us. We have effectively, Rusty, 4 guys that can win this championship. How competitive is this?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Supergas. It's all about fixed index racing. As you can see, 3 guys on the maximum amount of points coming into this event. Colin Griffin, Matt Forbes and Daryl Stephen. They're the guys you want to keep an eye on. Graham Spencer, though, he's in there with an outside shot as well. This is going to be a great bracket to watch.
A lot of pressure on these guys. They might have the maximum, but you just can't afford to go out early, can you? Semi-finals are lining up right now, but before we get into the semi-finals proper, we'll have a bit of a look back at how we got to this point. And the crowd's certainly going to enjoy some great Supergas action. And they're already getting into it. Everyone's fired up. Let's have a look back. This was a critical matchup between Griffin and Stephen. Griffin, effectively the number 1 in the championship coming in.
Yeah, these guys came in on the maximum amount of points each, so whoever wins this knocks out one of the contenders. That's what it's all about. It was a great race, only 1,000th of a second difference between the reaction times. It was door handle to door handle the whole way down the racetrack, but Daryl Stephen won it. He goes on to the next round of racing, and unfortunately for Colin Griffin, that's his championship done.
Really a shame that they had to knock each other out early. Here's another guy that's still a championship contender. Now, he was not on the maximum coming in. I think he's about 40 points shy of that, but that matters not. He can still take this out.
He can. If some of the other guys go out early, Graham Spencer can certainly go on to take this championship from underneath their nose. The good news is for him here, he took out Richard Cavell in his first round of racing, and that's a good win, a critical win for him.
Forbes, this guy certainly, what a wild looking bit of kit this thing is. Just a spectacular looking car, and what a busy man he's been this weekend.
Yeah, he's up against Michael DeRose here in the first round of racing. Forbes was on the maximum number of points and he took it home as well. So close at the other end. Unfortunately for DeRose, he went under that 990 fixed index, and then we move on to round 2.
Supergas, ultra competitive as always. What a spectacular looking entry. The Lucas Oil entry of Matt Forbes. This is where you see the guys at the bottom end of the strip always looking over at their rival to see where they are. Forbes has to win this.
And the interesting thing, he's up against the car that he won a Supergas championship in a couple of years ago. And unfortunately for him, the consistency of that car comes back to bite him, because that is our multi-time champ out of here. That means that our champion will either be Graham Spencer or Daryl Stephen, and that's the race that we see up right now.
Incredible, isn't it, how we got to this point? But that's what happens in grand finals. Spencer versus Stephen for the championship right here, Rusty.
Yeah, this is a huge one. Absolutely massive. Whoever wins this will more than likely go on to take the championship door handle to door handle. But Spencer pushed to a breakout on that fixed index, a 984. And with that win, Daryl Stephen takes out the championship. Congratulations to the New South Welshman.
What a great result for him, and we still have semi-final action to come, so it's great to be able to go into this for him with no pressure. Hey, at the end of the day, you still want to get the job done in the final, don't you?
And he's got a killer car as well, because he went 9.903 in that last round of racing, so he's certainly got the car to do it. He's up against Peter Datsun here in that gorgeous-looking Tirana on the far side of the racetrack. This is going to be a great race.
You're always going to say a Tirana is gorgeous, Rusty, aren't you?
Something like that.
Go air, land and sea. Very cool logo down the side of Stephen. Can he go into the final right here? Datsun v Stephen. Not much in it in reaction time. Give that one just to Stephen. Look at the Tirana up on the tyres.
Yeah, it certainly picks up that front end and hauls it down the racetrack, but it's not enough. A 9.904 for Daryl Stephen. He takes it 0.004 of a second off that fixed index. That is an incredible performance, and I love this drone shot. This is cool.
Absolutely. They know their cars so well, don't they? They know what they need to do in this class to get the win. And as you said, 4/1000ths of a second. And Romeo, the Woodville Park Auto Repairs entry, who defeated Forbes in round 2. So he had a fair bit of hard work to do just to get here.
This is a massive, massive feather in his cap, because to take out a multi-time national champ in this class in the last round of racing, that's huge for a guy who's only really stepped into this car in the last season or so. He's got a solo pass into the final, so it's a great opportunity to test that car against his fixed index, and a 992. He's probably going to need to step it up a little bit coming into the final round.
Particularly as Stephen was like within 4/1000ths of a second in his run. A quick replay of this run here right now. Good conditions for drag racing too, Rusty. Not too hot.
Not too hot. Killer on the tree, and he takes it through to the final.
Time to turn our attention now to the EPS Super Street, and there's really only two championship contenders right here, Kylie Tanner and Harry Harris. They're the guys and girl that are going to be battling it out here. Garbellini, Winterburn, O'Hare, Tatchell, those guys certainly having a crack. Oh, I just love a Falcon on a direction.
I know you do, Wade. I know you do. And it's the right colour for a Falcon as well. That beautiful blue colour. But this is the semi-finals. We will be having a look back at the first couple of rounds of racing to find out how these guys got to this point. That's John Kerr on screen now. It's called Super Street for a reason. You've got a lot of big Aussie muscle in this, and it is just so cool.
Nice little burnout and a bit of a wave to the camera crew as well for the Safe Sight Traffic Solution sign on board there as well. So Harris, still a championship contender, one of two that are here this weekend.
Absolutely, and he needs to win to keep pace with Kylie Tanner. She's going to come up in a little while in this first round of racing. Harry Harris, though, takes the win. Good reaction time, and an 11.55 on the 11.51 takes it. Tanner, still a championship contender, but she needs to win in this first round of racing to make that championship stay alive.
Love the number plate, finally. Mopar versus Holden action right here. What a sweet-looking car, too. Although you love the Toronto in the left-hand lane, so it makes no difference really. Good little battle here. As always, such a competitive class.
It is really close, and Tanner takes the win, keeps pace with Harry Harris, and it is going to be tight. I guarantee you these guys are both going to go into the later rounds of elimination. It's all going to come down to who does a better job on race day. That's what it's all about. Such a close category, this one.
Oh, red light situation already here, so Kylie will get a free kick. Another round forward, devastating for the fair lane.
The interesting thing, I don't think she knows that she's got the win here because she's still looking over at that big fair lane of Samuel Franz. Takes the win though, 11.77 on the 11.72. Pretty safe from Kylie Tanner.
EPS Super Street action. You got to love the way these things just stand up. So the greater majority of cars street registered. Looks like a few of them running the commercial plates.
Yeah, a lot of them are. They don't have to be street registered, but a lot of them are roadworthy and street registered. Don Kerrs is a great example of that. Been in the family for many years, this car. He takes the win there with that 11.16 on the 11.12 dial-in.
Beautifully turned out car. Gotta love a bit of Holden Ute action as well. Bit of Chevy power, of course, in that situation. Got away cleanly too. Yeah,
Racanati in the Ute. He's taking on Harry Harris here, championship contender. He needs to win to keep pace with Kylie Tanner. We keep harping on it, and he gets it done. Just 11.55 on the 11.54 dial-in. And it's just keeps on going. It doesn't matter what round of racing it is. We just keep on rolling with this championship situation.
That was a cool head in a crisis for Harris, wasn't it? Because he just about got eaten alive.
Yeah, and he needs to win here because we know that Kylie Tanner is on a solo pass. So for Harris to stay good in the championship, he needs to take it, and he doesn't get it done. Barbera takes the win, and that knocks Harry Harris out of the championship. Kylie Tanner is your 2015-16 Super Street National Champion.
Bit of Monaro action up against Tirana here as well. Brutally competitive class. You have to know your car, know your performance, and have it all working for you on the day. Good battle here. Heads up.
So close at the other end, but the Tirana takes it. That's Neve, 11.13 on the 11.12 dial-in, and then we move to our champion. She knows she's the champion. She's got the solo pass here into the semi-finals, which is a great opportunity to test that dial-in.
Yeah, what a great, no pressure. Might as well just have a crack. Already know you've got the championship in the bag. That is a fantastic result for her. What a great story for drag racing.
Yeah, and she's a former national champion as well, so she is one tough racer, let me tell you. She's definitely one that strikes fear into the heart of every other racer in Super Street, that's for sure.
So semi-final action right now, back live. We had a bit of a look back at how we got to that point. Tony Barbera in the Falcon and John Kerr in the Mercury Comet, the 64 Comet. What a wild-looking bit of kit.
It's just awesome, isn't it? There is nothing better than big muscle cars on the track. Have a look at the reaction time for Kerr. 0.004 on the tree. That's just a bad job of red lighting right there. That's sensational. Across the line, and Kerr will take it. Only just, though. 11.08 on the 11.05 beats and 11.00 on 11.00. That's a whole shot win right there for John Kerr, and that all came down to the reaction time. Great job by the driver.
Good to get a big, heavy car off the line like that. Superb job. And again, it comes back to knowing your combination and how hard you can run. Well, here's the Australian champion, Kylie Tanner, the Outlaw Speed Shop entry. A solo pass in round 4 brings her in this, and Jason Neve, the Duco Express SS Tirana, out on the track now.
Basically, it looks like it just rolled in off the street, this thing, but I've got a feeling it might just have a little bit more under the bonnet than what we give it credit for.
You think it might have been tickled just a little bit?
Just a touch. Dial-ins here, 11.74 for Tanner, so she will be leaving first. Neve and 11.11, and it's a red light for Neve. The red Serrana is out of here, and our new national champ is on her way to the final round.
Again, she's just looking over that right-hand lane. She's very good, very workmanlike, as she knows what she's got to do. An 11.71, an 11.74, and Tanner heading to the final.
It's a sensational effort, and it just shows you all these other racers are redlining against Kylie Tanner because they know she is so good on the tree, and she will be good in the final round in just a little while time.
Time for some modified bike action thanks to Ballistic Performance Parts, and this is a great championship battle. There's at least 4 guys in with a red-hot chance. Walker, Don't, Finn, Hoster in with a big chance to wrap up the Australian Championship. And you're here at Adelaide International Raceway for the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Drag Racing Series, part of the ANDRA Drag Racing Championship. Good crowd here at Adelaide International Raceway, and Hoster, this guy, certainly a championship contender.
Yeah, Wally Hoster been racing for many, many years. He is certainly a contender here. 4th in the points, he comes into this race, and he's up against Ian Reid, one of the hitters of this modified bike class. It's close at the other end. Wally Hoster took him out, though, courtesy of a breakout from Ian Reid. 10.45 on a 10.55 was never going to get the job done.
More highlights here of how we got to the semi-final situation, and Don't, certainly a championship contender. Look at that, straight as a bullet off the line.
Yeah, he's doing some chasing as well. Looks like the bike on the left, that's McGregor, got a little bit out of shape and actually broke out 10.76 on a 10.80. Hands the win back across to Gavin Don't.
Walker, still another of the championship contenders. There are 4 thereof. Walker looking pretty solid, shutting down a bit towards the end.
Yeah, that was a close one. He actually broke out, double breakout, 10.52 and 10.65 for more. Oh, Malcolm Price, that is a big, big incident in a burnout. It's not often you see that. It looks like he might have just grabbed a little bit too much front brake coming out of the burnout, and it fell awkwardly on his leg and his arm there as well.
That's a big, heavy bike as well. It gave Finn a solo pass, another one of the championship contenders. It's great coming into this. At least 4 guys with a big chance to wrap things up.
A little bit of the Valentino Rossi at the other end around the braking area as well. We move on to round 2, and Gavin Don't, still one of the championship contenders here. He is taking on Tony Keating, who's really up against the concrete there. Gavin Don't, though, he really drove around the outside of Keating. A 9.33 on a 9.33, spectacular win. That's exactly what you need to do in modified bike to win races.
What a wild-looking bike, though. That was cool. Walker up against Finn. This is a critical matchup. A couple of championship contenders right here. The Honda closest to our camera up against the Harley.
Yeah, and Walker tattooed him to the tree as well. 0.29 on the tree. Backs off big time at the top end of the racetrack, but he gives it away. Number 1 in the points is out, and Finn moves on to the next round.
Highlights of round 3 for modified bike, brought to us by Ballistic Performance Parts. And Hoster on the Suzuki Hayabusa just looks solid right down the middle.
Right down the middle and into the semi-finals. He needs to do that to keep his championship alive, and he does. Takes the win at 9.77 on 9.38. Problems Sir Thompson there.
How casual has Finn in the burnout, just laying on either side. One more time, they've got to get themselves into the semis. Is this the chance for Finn to do that? Looks pretty solid on an 11.
11 flat and an 11.16 is the result. He moves on to the semi-finals, and this is actually cool because we have got the number 2 in points, the number 4 in points, and the number 3 in points. They are our 3 semi-finalists. So whoever goes further, whoever wins this event is basically going to win the championship.
Don't versus Hoster. This is going to be a great battle. As you said, this to decide the championship, really. Wild looking long swing arm. Looks like it rides the Widowmaker Hill, that thing of Don'ts, doesn't it?
Yeah, incredible performance out of these motorcycles. Makes it a little bit easier to get them off the start line with no wheelie bars having that big swing arm, but it does cause its own problems as well. You've got to get right over those handlebars to keep that front end on the ground. This is a good race that we've got on our hands here. Only a 100th of a second in it at the start line, and Don't is out of the championship race. A 9.26 on a 9.30, that's a breakout, and Wally Hoster moves on to the final round. He will take on Brian Finn because Finn has got a solo pass in the next round of racing, and that final round, that is what is going to decide the championship here. But the good news for Finn is that he's got a chance to test his dial in here in this solo pass.
From Port Augusta, sponsored by Toll Port Augusta, so good chance for Finn, as you said, just to test the setup and check where he's at prior to getting himself into the semis. A 1.6 light for Finn, pretty well down the middle, and on 11.
A little bit of a wheel stand early on in the run. That probably ate up a little bit of ET, and an 11.11 on the 11 flat for Finn, and he'll probably want to sharpen that up a little bit coming into the final round. Keep your eye on that front wheel. Just comes off the ground ever so slightly, carries it out to probably 100 feet out off the start line. That'll hurt him a little bit, but he'll be fine. We'll see him back in the final round shortly.
Coming up after the break, Rusty, there's more from Adelaide International Raceway. It's the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series, part of the ANDRA Championship Drag Racing Finals.
You want more time to do this, so you can get this. You provide the skill and sweat. Count on Summit Racing for the rest. We carry more parts than anyone else. You can reach us anytime, 24/7. And we ship around the world fast. Summit Racing Equipment, the world's speed shop. SummitRacing.com.
Out of all the categories competing in the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series, Top Sportsman will be the class that most competitors will keep a very close eye on. Two of the four drivers that are vying for championship glory are Darren Saliba and Stuart McBain.
We hopefully can take out the series. We're on max points with four other cars, and it looks hopefully we can do it this today in our home track.
It's just as tough as it can be. The other three guys are as tough as me, if not tougher, and it's just going to be hard work. We just have to go round by round and just be there at the finish and take them out as we go. That's all we can do, is just round by round and last.
Four drivers are sitting atop of the point standings on the 300 point cap maximum, and by the end of the meeting, only one will be champion. For Darren Saliba, the opportunity to win the Top Sportsman Championship at his home track is something special for him, and after qualifying, the signs look pretty good.
Car's gone great, consistent, did 3 passes and 7.109 and qualified number 1. The track here in Adelaide, great track, great. Probably the best in the country, to tell you the truth.
The creation of the Top Sportsman category at the beginning of 2015 has proven to be a success for ANDRA and the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series. And the likes of McBain believes the class can only continue to grow.
This is what you need.
I reckon it's great. It's taken some of the faster cars out of Super Sedan and given them a little place all their own where it's a bit safer to have all the faster cars, and they're a great bunch of guys, and it'll just grow and get better and better. It'll be great.
Welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway. It's the ANDRA Grand Final, the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series. Rusty Gregory and Wade Oranger as we go for a very cool ride. There are some awesome cars in the Top Sportsman class for old school, speed shop. And here is the point situation. Have a look at this. At least 5 of those guys in with a championship chance, Rusty.
Yeah, it's incredible, and they are all tough racers. Jason Stairs, Darren Saliba, Stuart McBain, Paul Russo, Jason Arbery in there as well. It is going to be crazy. Here is one of those championship contenders right now. That's Paul Russo on screen in that gorgeous 57 Chevy.
Semi-final action for Top Sportsman. Wow, what a great view. What little there is of it.
Mate, this is one of my favourite classes, I tell you what. Just fantastic looking cars, really, really diverse body styles. We're going to check out some semi-final action very, very shortly, but let's look at how they got here. This is Paul Russo, championship contender on screen. He took out McDonald in the first round of racing. Now, Russo was 4th coming in on the points, but he was on the maximum number of points, 300 that is.
Just some wild-looking cars, some very impressive times as well. And Russo, as you said, solid, pops the chutes, takes care of the hold in that right-hand lane. Arbery, still a championship contender as well. Great, we've got 3 South Australians all in with a chance of championship glory.
Absolutely. He's taking on Matt Forbes here, who was racing in 3 classes this weekend. We'll touch on that in a little while because it's 3 completely different styles of car as well. Arbery, though, he is out in front. Matt Forbes' car looks like it made a little bit of a move, but Forbes takes it. A 773 and a 772. Was nice and close at the other end, but he took it home.
Stairs, wild-looking bit of kit there as well. Watching highlights of the eliminations. As you said, the body stylings, that's just fantastic.
Yeah, I knew you'd like Julian Carafa on the far side of the racetrack. Unfortunately, it's the only time you're going to see him because he got put on the trailer there by a championship leader.
Jerry McBain, still a championship contender right here, and certainly a phenomenal drag racer, this guy.
Absolutely, been around for a long, long time. He's taking on Chris Zouch here in that wild-looking Willys, and McBain drives around the outside. Crazy race there, but McBain takes it in that Chevy.
Man, you have to keep a cool head, don't you? You can watch your rival get away, and you know you've got to stay within your limits and still run them down.
Bruno Romeo closest to camera now. This is another critical battle in this championship. McBain needs to win to keep pace, and unfortunately for him, he can't do it. A 787 on a 786, not good enough. A whole shot by Bruno Romeo there takes home the win and knocks him out of this championship race.
Saliba's qualified at the last 5 events, but he's yet to make a final, so this would be absolutely critical for him. Big situation for McBain going out. He missed the championship last year by 20 points when he couldn't get to the Winters, and Saliba is gone as well.
Yeah, he's not going to get it. Matt Forbes is really playing spoiler here today, and he's got another of the championship contenders here in this semi-final round. That's Paul Russo in the Chevy. He's taking on Matt Forbes on the far side of the racetrack. Now, Forbes is racing 3 different categories here this weekend.
That's crazy.
Modified, he's racing Super Gas and Top Sportsman. All completely different styles of car, and he's winning rounds in all 3. It's incredible.
And got a big opportunity, hopefully, in Dallas to see whether he can pull that off and get a more consistent drive in the Sportsman Series over in the States as well. So a lot playing on the next few weeks for this guy. Great reaction time. Russo, can he put him away?
Oh no, Russo, a breakout. A 7.509 on a 751. Breaks out by 1,000th of a second, and he had that one as well. He was way out in front. Problems, though, for Matt Forbes. That's a big problem. He's parked it in the beach. The chute is still in the chute pack. I don't know what happened there, but it looked like the power went out early on in the run, so I'm surprised to see him in the sand track.
Now, Russo was solid, but in the end, he was too good.
Crazy
Ooh,
race. Yeah, you can see it looks like he's just trying to pull that car up. No chute. Doesn't look like it had a whole lot of speed on it, but unfortunately for Matt Forbes, there's going to be a bit of work to do between rounds, especially coming into this final round.
Plenty of drama. Now, Stairs. If he wins here, he's the champion. So plenty to play for right now. Woodville Park Automotive Services entry right alongside him, Bruno Romeo, the TNA Excavations entry. He defeated McBain, so we know he can get the job done here, Bruno. Up against Jason Stairs, the VPW Lucas Oil Products entry, had a solo pass in round 2, so Stairs hasn't had the most brutal run through.
I tell you what, no pressure whatsoever here for Jason Stairs, is there, in the Lucas Oil car? He comes into this having to win the national championship. If he wins this race, that's it. It's over. He can just concentrate on the final round here at the grand finals. Whole shot to Stairs. He's out in front. He needs to win this to take the championship. It's close. And he gets it. He is your new national champion in Top Sportsman. Congratulations to Jason Stairs. A 729 on that 723 takes it. Incredible effort there. He's looking over. This is bracket racing at its best. And Jason Stairs, congratulations.
Look at him. He's absolutely pumped. They were great shots. He was so intense leaving the line, wasn't he? You know he was pumped up for that. Amazing job for Jason Stairs. There's your national champ. Junior Dragsters coming up now. Sportsman Drag Racing Series, thanks to Summit Racing Equipment. And the juniors, what a battle. There's at least 7 of them here. Baker, Bishop, Donnelly, Carranza, Naylor, Natalie Bishop in there as well. So, championship certainly be decided, but it's not going to be decided for a while. These are semi-finals. They run 1/8 mile, these cars. And it's surprising. They look to the naked eye. They don't look anywhere near as quick as some of the senior classes, but comparatively, they are exceptionally quick in their 818 mile, particularly off the line.
Yeah, off the start line. I mean, these things are running up around 130 kilometres per hour at the 8th mile mark. Let's take a look back at the first round of racing. That is Daniel Carranza, and he is one of the championship contenders. He's a little bit down in the points, so he needs to make up some points right here. He takes out Davies in this first round of racing. It was a good close race as well. 881 takes it on the 878 dialing.
Donnelly, still one of the championship contenders. There are 7 championship contenders coming into this. This is absolutely tremendous. It's always been a brutally competitive class of drag racing juniors.
It has been all the way back to when it first started, and Donnelly moves on to the second round of racing here. Takes out Hayes in this first round, and 809 on the 8 flat.
Summit Racing Equipment junior dragsters. Big matchup right here. Baker and Bishop, 1 and 2 in this position here.
This is a massive, massive, massive matchup. You got to remember, both tough races, and Baker is out of here. The number 1 in the points is gone. He will not win the championship, unfortunately, and Natalie Bishop takes over the mantle as the provisional championship leader.
Naylor, out of Western Australia, still a championship contender right here. Of course, Braden Naylor getting out of junior dragster and moving into something for the future, we're hoping, but Naylor looking very solid there. Yep. Carranza, this is highlights now of round 2.
Yeah, round 2 of racing. Carranza taking on Anderson here. 984 is the dial-in for Anderson. 890 for Carranza, so he's doing the chasing. Still a championship contender, and unfortunately for Carranza, he is out of here. A breakout, an 886 on the 890. Not good enough to take the win, and he is out of the points.
Really different body stylings that some of these kids are running as well. Here is Naylor. Now, it says Braden on the side of the car, but it is, in fact, Michael.
Another good close race here. Mike Naylor, an 096 on the tree and a 795 on the 793 dial-in. That is really hard to beat.
Bishop, another of the contenders here. Natalie Bishop, still in with a big chance here this weekend. Bit of a wriggle up closest to our camera in the left-hand lane. Wow, to go there.
Yeah, really, really out of shape for Anderson on the close side of the racetrack. Either way, Natalie Bishop moves on to the next round of racing, and she is still in this championship.
Junior dragster competition still fierce right across Australia.
This is another big race. You got Braden Naylor closest to screen, Natalie Bishop on the far side, and the championship contender is out of here. She knocked out the number 1 in the last round, and now she is out of here. Braden Naylor moves on to the next round.
So, Michael Naylor, the Naylor brothers, gee, they've been impressive, haven't they, off the West Coast? They've done a lot of travelling, and that's a big thing for all these teams. They all travel epic kilometres in this championship.
It's a tough deal, and, well, Mike Naylor, he moves on to the next round. 794 and a 792. That's great, but he'll want to sharpen up his reaction times, that's for sure.
Kelly Donnelly, another one still right in this. Gee, that'd be like an eternity between leaving.
And these are the siblings as well, so you've got to wonder, are any team orders going to come into it? I'll tell you no. Kelly Donnelly, the championship contender, moves on to the semi-finals. It's going to come down to Donnelly and Naylor as far as the championship goes. The interesting thing is that Mike Naylor, he's got a solo into the final round. So for Donnelly to keep pace in this round right here, she needs to win. It's just flat out. That's the story. She's got to win this race.
Man, there's no pressure, is there? Just got to get it done. Some beautifully crafted cars, isn't it? Just look at the wheels on these things as well. Kelly Donnelly up against Braden Naylor. Waiting for them both to come in. Reaction time, nothing in it. Kelly Donnelly just a little bit quicker, 0.05 against a 0.06. Can she get it done? Look at Naylor looking over. This is his final junior dragster weekend. And wow. Donnelly is out.
Yeah, Donnelly is out of here. That's the championship done. And that is going to hand the championship back across to Michael Naylor. Congratulations to him. It's close at the other end, but it's a great one for the Naylor brothers because it's actually going to be an all-Naylor family final round.
And what a fantastic way for Braden to round out his junior dragster career facing up against his little bro.
That's cool, isn't it? That is just cool. Your last run ever in a junior, and it will be up against your new national champion and brother in the other lane. That is just flat out cool.
So here is the solo pass. It says Braden on the side of the car. It is, in fact, Michael. A .06 reaction time. Last chance for him to get it dialed in to go up against his brother in the final later in our program. Gee, it's an aerodynamic little sucker, isn't it?
It is. He's right down in that car. Whoa, 7.93 with an 8 on a 7.94. 0.02 of a second breakout. That is tight. He'll probably want to amend that dialing for the next round, for the final round for our new national champion.
Oh, he's picked the right round to do it in, though. If you're going to do it in the final, in your solo pass going into the final. More from Junior Dragster with the final coming up later. So there's a little bit of a championship history possibility out of all this for Pro Towing Super Sedan. John Kapiris, one of two guys on 300. Pacella, Cooper, Morocco, Bresciano, a Hunt in there as well. But Kapiris could be the first person to win 4 championships in a row.
Which is an incredible effort. It's the first time that it will be done, if it can be done here today. It's going to be a massive, massive effort from John Kapiris. Let's have a look at the highlights now, how these guys got to the semi-finals and how the championship contenders are shaping up, certainly. This is John Kapiris. He's got the big number 1 on the side of the car. It's been there for a couple of years now. And I'll tell you right now, this is a massive, massive race because that number 1 is in danger. John Kapiris loses in the first round of racing. First time I can remember that for happening for a long time. Larkin moves on, and that opens this championship up massively.
Morocco, he still knows he's in with a serious chance of this one as well. Just a sweet-looking car. Thing that I've always loved about Super Sedan is the way they leave the line.
Yeah, they're just wild, wild-looking cars. And for Morocco, his championship is over. The number 5 in the points is out of here. This is opening up massively for the guys that are way, way down the points. One of those guys is Hunt. He's on screen now. He's back there in 7th. He's taking on another championship contender here, Danny Bacella.
Bacella up against the panel van. The Falcon panel van. Gotta love that. Bacella closing in. Hunt looking to wrap it up. Wow, Hunt stays in it. Bacella is gone.
Yeah, Bacella lost the hood scoop there. Now, here's the championship scenario for Hunt. He needs to go through all the way to the final round and win the event. If he wins the event, he wins the championship. That's it, from the 7th spot.
He's going to have to earn it. He did a nice job, though, in round 2, taking care of the very rapid little Dado.
Round 3 highlights coming up, and all eyes are on Hunt. He is really the only championship contender. He's the only championship contender left in this field. It is quite incredible the way this is shaped out. He's taking on Bob Sherry here, former top fuel racer, in that very, very cool little car. The big panel van out in front, and he gets the chocolates right there, moves on to the semi-final, and he is still in this championship. It's a fantastic fairy tale for him, isn't it, Wade?
I don't think anybody expected this kind of situation would happen. This is Jennings here on a solo run, a .06 light for him. No one expected a 10.73 on the windscreen here. Let's see how close he runs to that. Jennings, a 10.734 on a 10.73. That's just about where you need to be.
Yeah, you think he's ready for the final? I think he's got this thing absolutely dialed in. 10.73 on a 10.73 with an 0.64. That gives him a very, very nice package coming into the final round. And who he will face there, yet to be decided. We'll know very shortly, though. It is either going to be Greg Damiani here in this absolutely cool Camaro or Hunt. This is the championship scenario. If he wins the overall event, the grand finals, takes home the gold Christmas tree, he is your new Super Sedan champion. It is a sensational, sensational story, but I tell you what, there's a lot of pressure on him, Wade.
A pair of South Aussies here in front of a South Aussie crowd, so either way, people are going to go home happy with this result. The X-Dub panel van. Oh, he gets a great light, a .01. Damiani, a .027 light. Here comes Damiani. Hunt will just hold on, I think. A 10.22 and a 10.19. Damiani goes under with an 8.46. There's a championship.
The Cinderella story is still alive for Hunt. This is incredible. If he wins the next round of racing, he will have come from the number 7 spot to take the championship. We'll find out shortly.
It's getting hot in the kitchen here at Adelaide International Raceway for the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series. Do not go away. There's some serious toys on the end of this one.
To some, it's just a hunk of metal. A convenience made to get you from point A to point B. Basic transportation, that's all. So who cares about horsepower, torque, compression ratios, and chrome Kraggers? Yeah, we do too. Summit Racing Equipment, the world speed shop. SummitRacing.com.
Supercharged Outlaws has been a hotly contested affair all season long, and after 9 rounds held across the country, the battle to be Australian champion now comes down to 2 men. Andrew Murray and David Thornton head into the ANDRA Championship Grand Final equal on 300 points, and both men have the national championship in their sights.
It's down to the 2-horse race now, myself and Dave, and we get through the next couple of runs and we'll see if we can meet in the final. That'd be the ideal scenario. We run a similar car. He's got an altered, we're running a Hemi, he's running a big block Chev. He's a little bit slower than us, so if we do meet in the final, well, I'm going to be sitting on the line for a while, but he's very consistent and he's a great racer.
Still 2 of us in a championship chase. I'm trying not to think about that, trying to win the event, and the rest will look after itself. So.
Murray and Thornton have been the form drivers in Supercharged Outlaws all season long. They've faced off against each other on a number of occasions as the season has progressed, yet both men have a healthy respect for one another as competitors.
We've met at a few tracks now and we've had a good crack about our racing. I knocked him out in Portland, he beat me in the final in Mildura, so we're pretty keen to line up against each other here. We had a run there in the final in Mildura and he got me on the final for there, so we're out for a bit of revenge there.
It's not really a rivalry, it's more turned into we're pretty good mates now. We met early in the series. He's travelled down from Darwin and done a lot of the series. So yeah, we sort of hang out after the races and have a beer and have a bit of a joke, and yeah, the rivalry is a bit of a playful one. So yeah, we're mucking around a bit today.
Welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway in Virginia, South Australia for the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series, all part of the ANDRA Grand Final. And it is time to get our teeth into the Zacks Transport Supercharged Outlaws. Is there a wilder looking category in all of drag racing? I doubt it.
I'm going to go with no, because these things are just wild. Big superchargers, black belts, and tight championships. 3 guys in with a shot. I should say 2 guys and one lady in with a shot of winning this championship. Adam Murray, Dave Thornton, and Dawena Day all in with a shot. They're all here this weekend trying to take home that big trophy.
Semi-final action rolling out, but as always, we're going to take a look back as to how we got to this situation with the elimination rounds. Cracking day for it, starting to get a bit of cloud cover over the top, but for the most of it, the fans have been bathed in sunshine throughout the day. So good to have championship drag racing back consistently in South Australia.
The AM frame's altered now. That's Adam Murray. This is a tight race. It was a 5.93 on the boards for Broken Shear in the dragster. It's a breakout, and Murray moves on to the next round of racing. And this is going to be a monster matchup, this next one, because it's number 2 and 3 in the points. Now, whoever wins this one will go on to battle with the championship with Adam Murray. So close at the other end, but it is Thornton. Knocks out the former national champion in this class, and Thornton goes on with that 6.23.
The highlights of round 2 here at Adelaide International Raceway for the Zacks Transport Supercharged Outlaws. And as we said, 3 drivers coming into this with a mathematical chance. And we're about to narrow that down again.
And narrow it down we do, because Thornton is out. He breaks out with that 6.18 on the 6.22, hands a win back across to Hargrave, and that will basically make Adam Murray the champ. If he wins this round. I should preface that with if he wins this round.
The attention to detail of Murray's car is just spectacular, isn't it? And he will do the job right now. Trouble in the right-hand lane, and Murray will head in and wrap up the championship. Congratulations. Sweet looking car.
Sensational effort for those guys, because they said at the start of the year they're going to do a few rounds of the championship. If they were still in it, they were going to chase it, and they've managed to take home the points. They've taken home the big trophy. We'll see him in a little while. He's got a solo pass into the final round, but this pass we've got Chris Hargrave taking on Kramer, a pair of altereds. We've got so many altereds. It's going to be an all-altered final no matter what happens. How good's that?
I love the relaxed look from Shane Kramer then. Just a bit of a wave over to the side just then. No problem there. Bit of Littlefield blower action for us. We get set. Hargrave, the R&N Superchargers entry in a left-hand lane. A 594 on the board for him.
You've got to remember as well, these guys only running 1,000 feet on this racetrack because of the braking area situation. Not quite long enough to pull them up over the quarter mile. And a 6:01, not good enough for Hargrave. A 5:68 on a 5:68. That's the way you do it for Kramer. Sensational run there.
Nothing in it off the line. And Kramer, solid. Advances further forward. And here is your champion. How cool is the blue visor even matching the car? Murray, the AM Cranes entry. Looking to just make it a perfect weekend. Solo pass here.
He has just been such a strong performer all year long, just going rounds, doing what he needs to do, taking those round wins and amassing those points. He was on 300 coming into this event, and it's just made life so much easier for him. He's done a great job this weekend driving the car, and he gets a chance to test his dial in here. 5:43 was the dial in. Drops the chutes a little bit early, but a 5:49 is what comes up on the boards. That's going to set him very nicely for the final.
And not that it mattered greatly, but it was a fairly lazy light. You've got no one alongside you. It doesn't really matter greatly, does it? But Murray on his way to the final. Some spectacular machinery about to enter the situation right now for Modified Eliminator, brought to us by Denso Spark Plugs. Matt Forbes, this busy weekend continues, but he's got at least 6 more championship contenders to battle out. There is Matt Forbes in the previously Charlotte Lucas Dragster. And this is a semi-final about to match up. Well, let's have a look back at how we got to this point. Very competitive class.
Indeed it is. We got one of our championship contenders here, Kenny Stewart taking on Kingsley Kuchel. You want to see a cool front engine dragster, have a look at this one on the far side of the racetrack, Wade. It is so different to anything else we've got in this field. Unfortunately, it's the only time we saw it because he went out in this round of racing. Kenny Stewart took home the win here, a 740 on that 736 dial in. Pretty good for him.
Kuchel, I think it's wild, isn't it?
Absolutely. Simon Barlow now, the dragster, another one of our contenders, number 2 in the points, taking on Neil Dyson, who technically is a championship contender, but he'd really require all the planets to align to take that win. And Barlow, unfortunately, out of here. Dyson moves on to the next round.
Such a broad cross range of vehicle body shapes and styles, isn't there? As we look at Forbes, eyes straight down the line. Still championship contender, number 1 coming into this. A bit of a wriggle up on the initial launch. Can he hold on to this? Zouch entry. Got away nicely. Zouch Transport right behind this.
Absolutely. Forbes moves on to the next round. Next up, Craig Baker, former national champion in this class, taking on Serge Benetti. Great to see Benetti back, the local South Australian racer. And how cool is that 32 coupe? Very, very tough looking car. Unfortunately for Baker, his championship is done. Benetti moves on to the next round.
Stewart is still in this with a big chance. Great shot just then. Highlights now of round 2. Could it get any more contrasting in styles in this battle?
You got the late model, really sleek looking drags, so basically built for drag racing. That's all this car does. And then you've got the 32 coupe on the other side of the racetrack. Unfortunately, the 32 coupe is out of here. Kenny Stewart takes the win, a 748 on the 742.
I thought the coupe was in with a chance, though. It was a pretty good battle.
It was close. It was a breakout.
Forbes, can he make this dream weekend continue? Nothing in this. Good drag race.
Absolutely it was. Takes out Wills there, 741 on the 731. Probably want to tighten that up if he moves deeper into elimination. It's not going to get any easier from here. We've got Kenny Stewart and Corey Dyson, another couple of contenders. Kenny Stewart, unfortunately for him, he is gone out of this championship race, and that is really going to open the championship up for Matt Forbes.
Round 3 highlights, getting closer and closer to our semis.
Another close race here. This is Leanne Braggs taking on Jess Turner. New look for Jess Turner this weekend, and she moves on to the semi-finals. And that's where we find ourselves now. Back live here, semi-finals and modified eliminator. And I've got to say, Jess Turner, she has done such a great job this season. Tough racer. She's still only, I think, in her very early 20s. So it's an incredible effort for her to go this deep into eliminations.
Great shot there of Forbes. We're going to ride on board with him up against Turner. Fantastic shot here. Can Jess knock out Forbes? He wants this championship. This will be a chance for him to get much closer to wrapping it up. I think for them both to come in. Good light from Turner.
Turner's got the advantage here. Only just. Both cars moving around a lot. And Jess Turner takes it, but with that loss, Matt Forbes has done enough to take the national championship. Incredible job running 3 classes here this weekend. He's been running 2 for the majority of this Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series, and for him to take out a championship, that's a sensational effort.
Well done to Turner. She puts away Forbes. That will be somewhat of an upset on this weekend. Great job. She's headed to the final. Nothing in this. That's a great drag race. Forbes will be disappointed still because he's such a competitive guy. He would want, I would think, the win in the final either way, but hey, the championship is his.
Corey Dyson now, the Mobile 1 car. Very, very nice looking car out of Victoria on a solo pass here to go into the final here at the Grand Finals at Adelaide. It's great to be back at such a historic venue. We got such a tough field of modified cars here this weekend. Anybody to make the final at the Grand Finals is doing a good job, but I'll tell you what, Corey Dyson has done a spectacular job, running so close to the dial-in all weekend long. 7.40 up on the boards on that 7.36 dial-in. He's through to the final.
He'll need to do a little bit better job of it, I think, to take on Jess, because she showed exceptionally good speed early, but he's into the final. That's all that matters. So this is really the first championship situation we come into where Matt Lyle has wrapped it up effectively. It's going to be very, very difficult to knock him off. We move into Super Compact right now, Pro GTR Motorsport. Most of the other championship classes we've seen this weekend have been decided by up to 4 to 6 to 7 even contenders, whereas Matt Lyle is looking very good here this weekend.
Now, the cool thing about this class, even though the championship's already decided, there are some very, very cool cars. If you like turbos, rotaries, 4-cylinders, 6-cylinders, this is the class for you. It is a crazy, crazy class. These are like the fuel altered of the modern day drag racing.
The Dyson Brothers team hoping for a big weekend here in Adelaide. And as you said, some wild, very short wheelbase cars, and they really are very twitchy. Completely different driving style required for these cars compared to some of the other classes we're seeing this weekend.
Yeah, crazy launch there. I'm not sure what happens to Dyson just off the start line. Either way, he rolls it through for a 12.32, way off that index at 176 miles per hour. That's a huge speed.
And they're so nimble, these cars, too. With that short wheelbase, you really do have to be up on the wheel. You get them out of shape about half track, it's going to be a big drive job to pull them in.
Now, this is Sanders was supposed to be taking on Tischendorf, but unfortunately, Tischendorf could not front for this round of racing. And here is your new champ, Matt Lyle, just accepting the green light. That's all he needs to do to take the win, and he will move through to the semi-finals.
The RX-7. We're back live now for the Super Compact semi-finals. Booked was by Pro GTR Motorsport, and Dyson up against the power porting entry of Andrew Sanders.
Very cool looking car, that one. I love the look of that thing with the big pipe out the side, just looks tough. But Dyson in that tiny, tiny little thing, huge horsepower. You got to remember, these are turbo cars. They need to build the boost up before they bring them into stage, so they require a completely different way of driving it. Sanders, unfortunately, red lights away his chances, and that will move Dyson on to the final round. What's the time? And it's a 7.88 on the 7.80 index. So you got to remember, this is index racing. They can go under their respective class indexes. They don't get the penalty straight away. They're penalised in the next round of racing where the index is lower, theoretically making it harder for them in the next round of racing.
Won't help you on a red light situation, unfortunately, though. And Dyson scooting away. Gee, that's a rapid little race car.
Just dancing the front wheels across the finish line as well. So Matt Lyle will move into the final round. We got the onboard cam with him here as well, and I can tell you, he's just going to accept the green light and move on to the next round of racing. That's all he needs to do to take the win here, but it's not real good from a spectator point of view, is it? But I guess they're saving the car. They've moved into the final round. That's all they need to do.
Time now for Superstock, brought to us by ULX 110 Custom Blend Oil. Stevie Norman and Kim Fardella and Ioannidis in with a 300 maximum coming into this one. But Camilleri's a chance. Dimitropoulos in there as well. The Mandurah Caravan and Tourist Park entry, which tells me it's a West Australian car. As we take a look at semi-finals about to come out right now. Of course, we'll have a look back at how we got to this point as the guys prepare for the burnout situation for the Falcon. Ultra competitive class of racing is Superstock.
Indeed it is. That's Kim Fardella in that gorgeous looking Falcon. Let's have a look at highlights from the first round of racing. And, well, Fardella had a big task in the first round. He was up against Consoldatus in this awesome looking Pontiac GXP. You don't see too many of them around, do you?
Isn't it just a mint looking race car? Oh, problems though. And Fardella looks like he'll do the job. In the end, hands up. Look, mum, no hands. Nice job. He'll get the win.
An 869 on the 874 did hurt his index ever so slightly. Now, you've got to remember, we've got Jim Ioannidis taking on Steve Norman, number 1 and 3 in the points here. This is a huge matchup, and Steve Norman, the reigning national champ, red lights away his chances. 035 red on the tree. That hands it back to Ioannidis, and we've got this championship going down to the line.
And he would be filthy about that situation right then. The AC Delco entry of Leslie Hines. What a legend of drag racing this bloke is.
Been around for such a long time. He's taking on Luis Vignos in that very cool big Mopar. You love your Mopars, don't you?
Oh, I love the way it was just wheel standing off the line. It wasn't exactly the prettiest launch, but it was spectacular in the end.
And Svinos took it there with that 972 on the 10.02. Had to get his index again. So our next matchup is Jamie Chasey and John Skorpos. Skorpos in the little Mopar, really trying hard to reel in the family Commodore for Chasey. He can't quite get there though on a 931 on the 976 index. That's a solid win.
It's not a bad run, is it? Nice light. Back live now for your semi-final action. Fardella there in the Falcon. And Luis Vignos in the City Demolition and Earth Moving entry. Bright orange Mopar situation up against the almost a burgundy coloured Fardella Falcon.
Now you got to remember, Fardella's still in with a shot at this championship. If he wins, it's good for the championship because Ioannidis needs to win in the next race of this round. Fardella's got a good reaction, 057 on the tree. It's all about who crosses the finish line first. Both racers looking across at each other, and the Falcon takes it. That puts the pressure back on Jim Ioannidis. An 840 on the 872 index. That's a good win for the Falcon.
Oh, a 0.1 light was not exactly what Louis was looking for. Look at the way that thing just launches to the centre, so he kind of had to get off it a little bit and straighten the car as well, and Fardella kills him with consistency right down the guts.
Would you say it stands up like a dog begging for a biscuit, Wade?
You would. That's exactly right, mate. Ioannidis, still a championship contender here, though Chasey, remember, he defeated Skorpos in round 1, so he is not here to mess around.
No, not at all. And Jim Ioannidis, a former national champion in this class. I remember this car used to do massive wheel stands a couple of years ago. He's kind of tamed it down a little bit now, really concentrating on the performance of the car. He's got a big set of wheelie bars on it as well. And this is pressure. He needs to win this race to keep pace with Kim Fardella. This is all on Jim Ioannidis right now.
Oh, red light, you are joking. And have a look at Chasey's crew. They are going off like a frog in a sock, and the championship dream turns into a nightmare for Ioannidis.
And it's good for Fardella, though, because he gets to take home the big trophy. Congratulations to Fardella. He is our new national champion. We'll see him back in the final round to take on Jamie Chasey very, very shortly.
Fardella would not have been expecting that, I wouldn't think. And here's a look at it. And it wasn't just a little light. Look at the, have a look at the guys going off. There's plenty of happiness there. Fardella, too, is stoked. Well, we've done the eliminations. We've done the semis. All that's left to play for are the finals. The gold Christmas trees for all these categories coming up after the break, so you better stick around.
You want more time to do this, so you can get this. You provide the skill and sweat. Count on Summit Racing for the rest. We carry more parts than anyone else. You can reach us anytime, 24/7. And we ship around the world fast. Summit Racing Equipment. The world's speed shop. SummitRacing.com.
Welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway, the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series for the ANDRA Grand Final. It's time now for our respective finals, and Super Gas on the line right now. Safe Site Traffic Solutions, Super Gas, and Rusty, that 990 decal on the left-hand bottom corner of the windscreen is critical when it comes to this class.
Absolutely it is, because that is the aim of the game. You want to run as close as you can to 990. It's a fixed index for every car in this class. You go under, you're out of here. If both cars go under, it's whoever goes under by the least. That's the way this works. It is a great class, and we've got our new national champion on the line right now. That's Daryl Stephen. He's taking on Jeff Romeo on the far side of the racetrack.
So gold Christmas trees to be handed out at the end of all this, but everybody wants the final round win. Who is going to get it here in Adelaide? Romeo on the far side. Stephen, a red light for Romeo. It's over.
It is done. Daryl Stephen will take home all the trophies this weekend. He's won the championship, he's won the grand finals, and just to boot, he goes 990 on a 990 fixed index. That is how you do it in Super Gas.
That's its style, really, isn't it? Ramming it home. So we take a look at the replay. Daryl Stephen is your champion, and hasn't he done a great job? Let's have a look at the points after we meet this winner.
This is the second time now we've doubled up, so really proud. Can't thank ANDRA enough. What they've done to make sure this championship gets run, it's just been fantastic. Everyone that's here today, all the Super Gas races, all the officials, all the ANDRA officials, just unbelievable weekend. The crowd, I don't think they could have got another person in the place, honestly.
So Daryl Stephen wraps it up by some 60 points over Matt Forbes in that second spot. Colin Griffin third, Graham Spencer. You go back to Romeo, Bull, O'Dwyer and Ayenko for Super Gas. EPS Super Street final right now, and have a look at the concentration on the eyes of that young lady right there. I say young lady, that's fair call, right?
Fair call. I don't think there's any other thing than a young lady is their way.
Look at that. I love the flower on the dash and everything. Kylie looking to do this one. She's always got the Duchenne Foundation on her car as well, if I remember rightly.
Absolutely. Always supported there. Up against John Kerr in the final round here. She is already the national champ, the new national champ. John Kerr looking to take home the trophy off her.
GTR Supplies Tirana moving into stage.
Kerr with a slight reaction time advantage around about 200s up his sleeve here. Kylie Tanner's really going to have to drive it hard at the top end of the racetrack. She's looking over, door handle to door handle, and the Mercury Comet takes it. John Kerr, an 11.02 on the 11.03. It's a double breakout, but an 11.02 and the 11.03 closer to his dial-in. And John Kerr, congratulations. It's a long tow from New South Wales, but he's made it count here this weekend.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. It was a close race. I didn't know until you told me who got it. It was real close with Kylie. And yeah, thanks a lot to the ANDRA and Summit for running the series. And the guys that put the event together, put the track together. Is a fantastic track all weekend. I'd cut the best 60s here at Verney Track pretty much.
So the championship point sees Kylie Tanner, a fantastic winner over Harry Harris. Those two really went at it throughout the championship. Garbellini gets third, Franzen back to O'Hare, Thatcher, Winterbird and Krajina rounding out your top 8. Ballistic Performance Parts Modified Bike Final is looming. It's right now in your Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Drag Racing Series. That man on screen got the 11 on the windscreen, up against more like a 9.8, I think, for Hoster. Finn's been very consistent. Wally Hoster, the Horsley Park Tavern sponsored rider.
Absolutely. This class is ballistic in sponsor and ballistic in nature. This one is all about the championship. Whoever wins this race takes home the national title. Can you think of any more pressure than that in a final round of a national event? Wade, I can't.
And it's the way it should be. This is absolutely heads-up drag racing for the final. Concentration evident there. 1:05 light. That's fairly handy.
Pretty sharp there. Hoster's giving away almost a tenth of a second off the start line. That's going to be hard to ride down, and he can't do it. It's a breakout of 9:33 and the 9:38. Unfortunately for Hoster, that's it. He's done, and Finn is your new modified bike national champion.
Superb job at the lights. I think that was really critical. Got away beautifully and not the start at all that Hoster wanted.
Performing under pressure, that's the way to do it. Congratulations to Finn.
I'm absolutely amazed that I got this far today, and it's all credit to my sponsors. Oh, Jesus. Let me think for a tick. It's Adam and Tara from Toll Port Augusta, Dion McHugh Signs, and Phil and Naomi and the crew from Northern Motorcycles in Port Augusta. I'd just like to thank the crowd, the volunteers who made this meeting what it is. It's just been fantastic. And my good mate Wally, racing off for the championship against him was just worth it. It was absolutely fantastic. I couldn't be happier.
Good on you, Finny. Excellent job. Brian Finn, all the way from Port Augusta in South Australia. Will actually finish second in the championship. Hoster will get third, back then to Walker. What a great championship it was. Old School Speed Shop bringing us the top sportsman final. The Australian Championship has been wrapped up. That man there on the left, Jason Stairs. And if you have a look, the boys have been pretty quick to add the number to the windscreen. Just underneath the 723 right there. Stairsy, congratulations. Great result. Beautifully turned out.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to let everybody know who the new sheriff is in town. And unfortunately, it looks like Matt Forbes is going to have some problems starting here. So Jason Stairs is going to go on a solo pass. He's going to take home 2 trophies for the weekend. An 019 red light, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. You're on a solo pass. You've already got the number 1 on the side of the car. The ET doesn't even matter, but just for the kicker, 723 on a 723.
So he's in the game. Certainly great job for that team. Well done. The boys will be and girls, very, very happy with that. Stairs, let's have a look at it. He's so aggressive on the wheel. I just love it. Everything happens so quick. As we're about to head down to Victory Lane and catch up with your new Australian champion.
This is just unbelievable. We tied the championship up in the semis. And we thought it couldn't get any better. And then they come out of the final with a gold Christmas tree. It's just out of control.
Well done, Stairsy. He gets the win over Russo. McBain, Saliba and Arbery, really good arm wrestle with those guys as well, but they cannot stop Jason Stairs. A perfect result for the weekend and a great championship effort. An historic moment for the Naylor family. Not one that's unusual for them either, I don't think, as Braden and Michael Naylor go at it here at Adelaide International Raceway for the Summit Racing Equipment Junior Dragster Final. They've been an ornament to the game, there's no doubt about it. The Naylors out of the West Coast certainly have done their fair share of travelling over the years as well, as you have to do to run junior dragster. They do some huge kilometres.
Absolutely, and this weekend, well, it really is a just reward for this team. You've got to remember, Michael Naylor, the man on screen right now, he won the national championship. He's up against his brother Braden on the far side of the racetrack. His last ever run in junior dragster. He's hit the age limit, that's all it takes, and he will be out of here after this event, but not after he chases this trophy. 027 on the tree, sensational light from Braden. He's out in front, can he hold it? And he does. He takes out the new national champ and his brother, an 8.23 on the 8.13. That is a good win, and that is the way to cap off your junior dragster career.
Sorry about that, little bro, but I'm going to get the final round win in of my career. Great result for the Naylor family. Well done to our winner. Let's go to Victory Lane.
Oh, it's amazing. My little brother wins the Australian Championship after I do, and it's just a great feeling to know that we can both win it, and he's a very talented racer, and he's got plenty more good years to come.
I don't think that's the end of the Naylor boys. I think you're going to see them in years to come, that's for sure. Michael wraps up the championship from Kelly Donnelly and Natalie Bishop. Carranza in there as well. A great result, a wonderful championship for junior dragster. Time for us to duck into the pits for just a moment, but when we come back, we have 5 more finals to go. Here at Adelaide International Raceway, it's the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series, and it's all come down to this.
To some, it's just a hunk of metal. A convenience made to get you from point A to point B. Basic transportation, that's all. So who cares about horsepower, torque, compression ratios, and chrome Kragers? Yeah, we do too. Summit Racing Equipment, the world speed shop. SummitRacing.com.
Welcome back to Adelaide International Raceway for the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series. It's the ANDRA Grand Final round. Super Sedan. This has been a great battle throughout the course of the weekend. And now, can that man on screen in the panel van, Stephen Hunt, get the Pro Towing Super Sedan Championship final?
It's going to be a tough one. He needs to win this race to win the championship, to take home 2 trophies here this weekend. But he's got a pretty tough racer in the other lane. That's Michael Jennings. He has been running really well all weekend long, and I tell you what, this is going to be a good one. Looking at the dial-ins, 10.19 for Hunt, 10.73 up on the boards for Michael Jennings. So Hunt will be doing the chasing here.
Chevy Nova of Jennings up against the panel van of Hunt. Remember, we started with about 7 contenders coming into this particular day, and it's down to just the 2 of them. Good light for Jennings. Hunt's got his back against the wall here.
He's going to have to drive this thing out the back door to try and get around the Nova. I don't think he's going to get there. Not quite. A 10.75 on a 10.73 takes it for Jennings. That knocks Hunt out, and that hands the championship back across to John Kapiris, who lost in the first round of racing, but still makes it 4 championships in a row. What a way to finish this season.
Oh mate, this is awesome. 22 years is a long time to wait for a gold Christmas tree. I'd like to thank everybody that's put this event on, man. A lot of people have done a lot of hard work and all the support of the races. I'd like to thank all the sponsors, Mark and Maxon for putting the support behind it, ANDRA, Summit for supporting all the sportsman races, my family, my brother, and unfortunately I had to beat my best mate Steve in the final. But 22 years I got my first Christmas tree, so it's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, it's a happy boys. And what an amazing result in the end. Kapiris will get the championship. How close was that? Look at that, the top 8 separated by, 100 points in it. Great result. John Kapiris is your new national champion. Supercharged Outlaws final on the raceway right now, and sun really starting to get low in the sky here now. This has been a really mean class all year and a fantastic way to celebrate the final round.
And it's interesting that you mention the sun here, because there is going to be a bit of a sun factor for the racer in the left-hand lane. That's Kramer, Shane Kramer, in that gorgeous-looking Orchid. You've got to remember, when he's staging his car, he's going to be looking straight into the sun when he's looking at that Christmas tree. So that could take a little bit of the concentration away. He is up against the new national champ, Adam Murray. Congratulations to that team. And this is going to be a barn burner of a race, I'll tell you right now.
And Murray's out of Darwin too, so that's a big haul for them out of the territory. Great result for Northern Territory Motorsport, the AM Cranes racing entry.
Not the first time we've had a national champion out of the Northern Territory in Supercharged Outlaws either. Matty Watts did it quite a few years ago as well, so they're known for tough Supercharged Outlaws races, that's for sure.
Murray closest to camera, Kramer furthest from our camera, looking right through the sun, as we said. Very good light for Kramer, 0.06, he straps one on Murray, but look at the Territorian come home, is it enough? No, Kramer gets it. Wow, a 5.43 and a 5.44. That was the difference right then. Murray just inside.
Crazy, crazy launch there. Wheels up for Murray. It was the smallest of breakouts by 0.03 of a second. Murray hands it back across to Kramer. Sensational race. Sensational way to finish up this championship. Let's catch up with Kramer.
It's just awesome to be able to take away another trophy, second one. So thankful to the people that helped me out. My mate Dave, family was here. It's just, yeah, it's really good achievement. All the hard work's paying off. Can't do it on your own, like I say. Congrats to the people that helped put on the meeting, get everything happening back here in Adelaide, Mark Coon and everybody else. So thank you very much for them guys, and thanks to all my competitors. It's just been an amazing weekend. So yeah, thanks a lot.
He's a pretty cool rooster as Kramer, isn't he? Murray, though, will wrap it up. Thornton will be second. Doing a day too. We didn't really see much of her this weekend. Wasn't her best result, but well done. Adam takes the win to the territory. Modified Eliminator final right now. Brought to us by Denso Spark Plugs. And we've been waiting for this. This is going to be a tasty matchup.
Absolutely it is. And I tell you what, it's great to see the young kids coming through in this class. I mean, we're talking about two drivers here that are both in their mid-20s. It is incredible to see how youthful exuberance can overcome experience sometimes. Not to say either of these two races aren't experienced, but I tell you what, to get over a field that included several multi-time national champions and battle through to the final round, it's a sensational effort for Jess Turner and Corey Dyson.
Well, Jess Turner took care of one of the biggest players in the game earlier today, didn't she? So she'd have to be feeling good. And Dyson, same for him as well. Experience does matter an enormous amount in any form of motorsport, particularly in drag racing. So what you said is spot on, Rusty. Waiting for them to both come into stage. Turner closest to camera. Great shot from the drone here at Adelaide International Raceway. Oh, great light from Turner. A 009 light against an 018. Nothing in it. I think Dyson maybe. No, Turner. A 7189 on a 718. Superb from Turner.
And it beats a 737 on a 737. That is the race of the weekend for mine. Let's go down to Jess Turner.
A really great end to the season for us. Thanks to all our sponsors, everyone that supported us for the whole year. It's a really good way to round it out.
Good on you, Jess. Fantastic final. That was a blinder. Forbes, though, they cannot stop him. Corey Dyson second, Kenny Stewart third, Simon Barlow just ended up in the top 5. What a tremendous modified eliminator that was. Well, Super Compact on the raceway right now for their final as well, and this guy has been hectic. The Dyson brothers entry, gee, that thing's been quick. Up against the guy that's had to really only take the green on a couple of critical occasions earlier today.
Yeah, it's been fairly straightforward for Matt Lyle. This is actually going to be the first paired pass that he's had in eliminations. First round of racing, his opponent broke. Second round of racing, he had a scheduled bye. So really, Matt Lyle's coming in with a bit of an unknown here, though he is the new national champion in this class. So he's not one to take lightly.
Look at those big Mickey Thompsons on the back of Dyson's car. Up against the RX-7. Very good light for Dyson. Lyle with trouble, so Dyson will storm home. What an emphatic win in the end. So Lyle makes you wonder. He ran through on the green a couple of times. Maybe those extra runs may have helped him find that problem. We'll never know that. But wow, what a job from Dyson.
Let's have a look at what happened on board with Matt Lyle here. It was almost like it never came up on boost. Not sure what happened, but unfortunately for Matt Lyle, that's his weekend done. He takes the runner-up trophy, and Andrew Dyson, sensational effort from him. Have a look at the flame out from his little car. It leaves it with the front wheels in the air, and he takes the win here in Adelaide.
I'd like to thank Summit, firstly, for sponsoring the event, and my brother for helping me, Craig, and everyone for turning up. Fantastic meeting.
So time now for Super Compact points. You see that Lyle still got the job. Gee, Dyson closed right in on him, but Lyle will still get the gold Christmas tree. Great results. Getting to the business end of the coverage now. Our Super Stock final. A couple of power burnouts. You kind of expect that, don't you? As our Super Stock combatants go at it here at Adelaide International Raceway. It's been a great weekend of ANDRA Championship drag racing here in South Australia.
Absolutely, it has, and it's come down to two of the hitters of this class. Kim Fardella in the Falcon, and that's Jamie Chasey on the far side of the racetrack. Now, Kim Fardella wrapped up the National Championship in the last round of racing with that semi-final win. He amassed enough points to take home the big trophy. So, to a certain extent, all the pressure is off, but at the same time, you still want to walk away with the win at the event, don't you, Wade?
Oh, without a doubt. Every time you go out onto the raceway, you want to get the win. Ford versus Holden battle we got for us right here. The sun beating down through the windscreens on these guys, both having to squint to check the Christmas tree out. Here we go. Final, Chasey v Fardella. Red light for Chasey. And Fardella just adds that little bit of icing to the cake.
Man, oh man, what a weekend for the Falcon. Though, look at the bonnet vibrating around there. He's lucky that thing hasn't let go already. 8:35 on the 8:57 index. That's the way to put the exclamation point on the weekend. A sensational weekend for the Fardella team. And I dare say that we are going to have one very, very happy driver at the top end of the racetrack.
Yeah, unbelievable. Don't know what to say actually, but I have to say thanks to Terry and Jackie that have been along with us all the way, and Terry does a lot of the decisions on the car to make it go faster, and we left some stuff for today, and obviously it's worked out for us, so pretty happy. But there's a lot of people help us, and another one is Huntsman Racing for putting this on and looking after us while we're in Adelaide. Couldn't have done it without a lot of people, and I can't mention them all, so not on here.
Vardy looks like he's going to go and catch a wave, doesn't he? Very, very happy with the result. He will get the win. Congratulations to him. Very, very solid weekend for him. Look at that, extremely competitive, right down to about the top 5 with Camilleri in there as well. That wraps up our coverage. Rusty Gregory, a fantastic weekend here in Adelaide.
A fantastic weekend and a fantastic season for the Summit Racing Equipment Sportsman Series. I cannot wait to do it all again next time.
Coming up after the break, we turn our attention to all things open wheeler racing as Formula 3 and the sports races hit the tarmac at Sandown as part of round 1 of the Shannon's Nationals.